you guys remember exactly where you guys were at the Y2K, like 2000s, when it crossed over to millennial?
It's 2026 and we're speaking 2000
2000.
right now. I do. Did you have a party?
No.
I guess
Wait.
you probably did
Let's
have a
get some
party because
context.
it's the context.
'Cause I was-
the turning of the year anyway, right?
It's a real quick context, because I was 3 years old. So I'm outshowed. The best I could be doing was crawling on the floor and, I don't know, eating
Nah,
food.
3 years old. You're like old enough to have been taken and done something, right?
The earliest memory I have is probably like 9/11.
When did you come here to Australia?
4 years old.
Okay, so you're still in the China.
Yeah.
Did you
I
guys
have
do
vague memories.
Did China
Very
do?
vague.
I know obviously China has its own New Year's. So do you just don't do New Year's by our calendar at all?
There's a calendar New Year's, but it's less celebrated than Chinese New Year's.
Okay, but yeah, they still do something.
Well, it's still open. Like business still open.
Yeah.
Chinese New Year, everything just shut.
Yeah,
People kind of just go,
has
New Year's.
Has the Chinese New Year been always like a whole week off, or is it slowly escalated
weeks.
that to now?
as far back as I can remember.
It's just 2 weeks minimum.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then, back then when all the production and manufacturing is still in China, you just
Yeah, the whole
just,
globe
you
has
just,
to be
yeah,
like,
it's
"Whoa,
global. It's just like,
no T-shirts for 2 weeks.
we got a pre-plan.
Yeah.
2 weeks no
How,
shipments.
how old are you, William, when
What?
the 2000s crossed? When this millennia crossed?
Whoa, that was like 25 years ago.
You're Malaysian Chinese, right?
Yeah.
So do the Malaysians do Chinese New Year or regular New Year?
Both.
They do both.
Yes.
That's a pretty good excuse for us to 2 holidays.
Hell yeah.
So that at the point of, were you celebrating the potential coming of Y2K or just the fact that it was a New Year's?
I can't remember much about Y2K. I just remember everybody is just selling on Y2K. The hard selling of equipment.
Yeah, there
You
was
have
a-
to change all your computers.
Was it? What was the stock market crash? Right? Wasn't like everyone dumped? Like everyone's like panic selling.
There was, I don't think it was that big, but it was more than nothing for sure.
I would say that everybody was capitalizing on the Y2K sticker on the product.
Yeah.
Like everybody asking, is this Y2K compliant? Is this Y2K compliant?
I remember now.
Do you know that the effect of Y2K happened many years later?
Oh, really?
Yeah, in like 2011 or something. Whatever Microsoft had built into all of their software when they originally designed it, thought that it would be rebuilt from the code up at the bottom. And like, let's just say 2011. I'll get the date wrong, but we can Google it later. They got it wrong, and they didn't prepare for it for that point. So there was a point where huge software systems all around the world just shut down because it wasn't expected to go past that point. Almost like the Aztec calendar, where the only reason that when the Aztecs finally came and thought the doom was coming, it's just because they like, theoretically, historically, they think that it's just because the people that first built the calendar were like, well, why would I need more than this calendar right now? They'll just come up with more of it later. And that's the Microsoft had that software issue where like it was a big deal for their mail client where it just stopped coding after that minute. So any email received after whatever the minute was that it passed just stopped coming in, and it was like building up where it was just not going anywhere. So that was Y2K 2011.
I did read a thing where apparently Y2K was, because it was so anticipated and so much preparations was made for it, that the overall effect of it was very low, but it did affect some minor sectors of people that couldn't prepare properly for it. But also I like to imagine that when the whole because the Y2K thing was just a inherent design flaw in how some programming languages are made, because it's a thing with the clocks, right? And then I like to imagine that it was just more like some guy was like, oh, this might be a problem. And then it becomes a bit of like passed down the
Also-
line. And this person's like, oh, it might be a problem.
Yeah, like
Passed down the line.
it's like
Might
a
be big
doomsday
problem.
situation.
Yeah, and then when it gets to the news channels and it gets sensationalized, then news channels are like, guys, you don't understand. This is bad.
Wait,
End of the world.
when Y2K happened, internet is already okay, right?
Internet was a thing, yeah.
No dial-up anymore, right?
No, broadband was already starting to become a thing
Yeah,
in the 2000s,
broadband,
right?
yeah.
It's just in
Not where I
Australia.
lived.
In Australia, we still carry a pigeon.
Yeah.
So,
The joke of Perth being behind like the rest of the country was still fairly prevalent, but Australia internet was pretty rough, really.
yeah.
Okay.
Trying to play a chess match and you have to send it by mail.
My Y2K consisted of a lot of Ricky Martin because I had a very British family. And
Ricky Martin.
They just celebrated into the new year by playing lots of.
How
like,
old were you when you were like, what, 6, 7?
Yeah, gross.
I hate
6, 7.
See, we could have just moved on. We could have let it slide.
Nah, my child catches me too much. You know, we were watching something.
That's
There was some
retarded
Stranger Things character, and the 6'7" thing came up. So we googled the actress for whatever it was, and she turned out to be 67 years old. Just pure coincidence. I was like, gross. But anyway, let's keep that. I've got a 15-year-old child, so just keep that on.
So you have memories of crossing the millennium?
Yeah, because I was born in 1991, so that would make me 9 years old.
9 years old when you crossed the millennium.
Damn.
Yeah. How old were you, William?
It's 25 years ago.
I don't know. For me, that it feels like a big deal because now we're in the 2000s.
Fine. We can hang out still.
Everything's 20 something. When it's going from 19 and you're crossing over a big old 1,000-year threshold, it's like, ooh.
I think the most prominent part of was you had those sunglasses where it was the two. It was like the 2000s, so the 2 zeros could be your eye parts.
Oh yeah,
and then they phoned it in starting in 2010.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was good.
And we're bringing this up because we're in the new year. It's
what an exciting time! It's 2026.
It's true. I've been through the whole lot. I've been through floppy disks to diskettes.
Yeah, I started
to CDs to DVDs to Blu-rays to whatever is it now.
Yeah,
we are.
A degradation of all of it.
The
VCD,
millennials,
sorry.
right? The millennials really grew up with the boom of technology. That's what we have. We have the boom of the internet, and we've seen the beginning,
the gigantic,
and we won't see the end.
Handphones where you
car
carry
phone?
a
briefcase?
case, briefcase with the thing on top with a cable, and then I seen it to a giant like a water bottle.
Can we bring back the cool like telephone briefcases? I want to see William in a briefcase, makes a call, opens his briefcase up, dials the number, and just old timey phone.
Now it'd be cool. You
Called laptop, bro.
That's Skype.
You could do that now because I feel like you could use before it required all the phone equipment inside that bottom case, but you could just use it as an actual briefcase. So you could commit to that.
I like the idea of
put a
walking
laptop in the briefcase.
Yeah, I like the idea of walking to a meeting and you open a briefcase and just take your phone out of the briefcase and it's the only thing inside.
Yeah. I don't know. Even when the early iPhones came out, you get all these crazy different kind of cases. One of the early ones was one where you could put your iPhone into one of those brick phones.
Oh, I know.
You remember seeing
That's
those?
so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was like
That is some ultimate protection.
because they were like I don't know if people remember, it's like that beige colored like plastic one with the big base, so you could stand it. So it was actually quite handy because you could stand your iPhone standing up in this giant
Every piece
case.
of technology back then was like that white plastic, that white beige colored plastic.
What was your first phone?
My parents had an old Nokia.
Like a brick one? Like
Yeah,
the
but I didn't have a phone till I was-
3310.
My parents didn't get me a phone till I was well and truly in like year 12.
I had a Motorola one, but it was a Coke branded one.
Coca-Cola branded
Coca-Cola
Motorola.
brand. Yeah, it was.
That's cool.
They would call them like I think they were like
It's a collab.
they're like Tic Tac
Yeah.
phones, and they were Coke gave them away at like post offices or something, and it was like a little it looked like a Tic Tac like the thing at the mint you eat. It was that shape but flat, and it had the whole back was like Coke branded, and my dad and I had the same one.
That's help.
Oh, pretty cool, eh?
And then I got to upgrade to a Motorola flip phone.
Damn.
And then my friend Ben, we were at class. My friend Ben, or I was like in class or at school. My friend Ben waved his arms around while telling a story, and he hit my Motorola flip phone while I was looking at it on this little 8-bit screen, and snapped the top part of the phone off
Damn.
the bottom part of the phone. And I was so scared of my mother. We went to the science class, and we got the science teacher to help us like.
Solder it back together.
Yeah, I don't think he did that. I think he just like he tied the cords back together, like the electrical bits in the middle. And because I don't remember a lot of, I probably didn't know what a solder was then, but I know it is now. And I don't think that happened unless he did it
Right,
without
you
me
just
looking.
took the cables and just kind of like
Tied them or some
screwed them
shit.
back together.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Did it work?
It worked. It worked.
Damn.
That Motorola flip phone worked for a good another year before
what
I
a champion. Do you
destroyed
guys
it.
have old pieces of technology from your childhood? Do you guys still have it?
You're sitting in a room of my hoarding, so yes, most likely.
Most likely.
Hopefully, well, if I still have my iPhone 1, probably I'll be rich.
I was always a hoarder,
Is it-
so I still have my old like MP3 player.
Ooh,
It's like tucked
a
away.
Movo or something.
Yeah, it's like an old. Well, no, it's a real cheap, like probably some Kmart branded one. It was a hand-me-down actually from a family friend.
If you have the old iPod, you'd be rich too.
Yeah, I had one of these big silverback cases. That was the first thing I bought. It was $800, and I was earning $6.26 an hour. It was,
Yeah.
it's a lot of hours. And then my friend thought it'd be funny just to cork my leg, but all he did was just punch the back of the case, and because it was in my pocket. And do you remember the big iPhone, the first iPods with the click wheel and the
Yeah.
silver metal back? He punched it, and it just had knuckles dented into it for all of time after. But that iPod was an investment, because all the girls at sport would sit around me and listen to my cool.
Yeah,
iPod.
if you had the iPod back then, you were the cool guy.
It gave a false sense of affluence that I did not have.
It was also the gotcha, right? Because you buy the iPod for $800, which based on inflation is probably like $7 million today. And then they gotcha, because then you got to buy all the songs. On
I spent so much money on like $1. What were they? $1.30, I think it was.
I can't remember.
It was like $1.29 or $1.30
Yeah.
on songs. I spent so
I
much money.
vaguely
on
remember
songs.
like new releases.
Do they still sell songs?
Yeah, that was you could only there was no streaming anything.
No,
So-
I mean, do they still sell songs
Oh
today?
yeah, you can still
Yeah.
buy them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I vaguely remember
They're
they would
not cheap either. Like it's still like $2-3 a song.
Yeah, they'll get you, right? Because they make it when new releases would be like $3 a pop.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, $3 for a song, I make double the price.
The iPhone strategy is definitely feeding on two things, because they do have the obvious stream service as well, but they feed on these two things where it's like people who've already committed to buying songs for a long time. So it's like, well, you're like, well, I can't transition now. I've spent all this money, which is what I had to, when Spotify first came out, I really had to convince myself. I was like, I just have to like let go of the fact that I spent all this money already. And there's other people that are still fearful that it'll disappear. And it does happen. But I think Spotify's done actually a pretty good job of like back cataloging stuff. At the start, there's plenty of bands you could find that didn't have this stuff on there, and you had holdouts. Like I remember Tool was a really big one. They didn't want to get on board because of like, basically Spotify absolutely ripping the
amount of money you make off
they make it very low,
like significantly lower than the competitors, right?
Yeah, so like they back down. Like Tool, if you're like a middle-aged white dude into rock music, Tool is like probably the apex of what you're looking for, right?
But I wonder how much of it is Tool's decision and how much of it is the people who own the licenses.
They were very specifically. I know that one for them because they were very public about it. But there's probably plenty of people in the situation you're talking about. And then they went through a little bit of a thing where if the person had like a messy background, they also wouldn't support it. But they were very selective on who that was. So they might like not use have a rapper's music on there because he said something, but then they would have like David Bowie's music on there, who historically dated and married 14-year-old girls. So it's like one of those things where it's like, well, where do you draw the line? Because like, I don't know, a rapper saying something in the media maybe a little controversial isn't the same as marrying children. So it's like, who gets to decide who that is? And then since then, they've just thrown it to the wall and they just put anybody's music on there now.
You guys are the cool guys with the iPods, you know what I mean?
iPods. I didn't have an iPod.
What was like your first piece of significant technology you owned? Mine was the first, like, it was the Game Boy Advance. When I was like quite young, my parents were like,
Technology.
all of young Kang's friends have Xboxes and stuff. We gotta give him a little bit of something so you can figure it out. And my parents bought me a Game Boy.
Wait, what?
Do you feel like that changed the course of your life? Being like,
probably
I'm a
ruined my
nerd
life.
now. That's it. It's like, that's what I do.
Probably ruined me.
PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
PlayStation 1?
I think
Final
so.
Fantasy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
My-
How old are you when you got the PlayStation 1?
Maybe like in the teens.
I think I talked about this before. We had a Nintendo because my dad.
11 or 12, I think.
Yeah, my dad used to get the hand-me-down consoles. We'd always be one behind. So when we got the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation was out because we'd got the hand-me-down from the guy above us. And but when that PlayStation 1 came, I think when PlayStation 2 came out, that definitely altered how I viewed video games for pretty much the rest of my life.
It went from being like, to, whoa, these are real graphics.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So it's like the graphics and the choices for gameplay and all that stuff. Like,
I played 1, and then I played 4.
Yeah.
I didn't play 2, 3.
Gotcha.
And then 4 and 5. Yeah.
You're not really missing any out if you're skipping Final Fantasies. The thing is, so let's say like, we all had a video game console as a kid, right? Well, it's one of those ones where when we had games as a kid, it was pretty rudimentary and they're designed to be like you replay them over and over and over again. You can get bored of it, you can put it aside. Kids now, dude, the games are crazy.
Yeah.
You're stuck in now. If you decide to play video games now, you can just you're the gamer guy.
we kind of talked about the whole Fortnite thing where it's like people can talk shit about it all they want, but they've done an incredibly good job of like giving a product to free, so it's way easy to convince your mother to buy a PlayStation or Xbox or whatever it is, and then play for free forever, and like keep those people in that realm.
But
and
they
then
buy V-Bucks, bro.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can.
That's all part of the games as a service, right?
But the kids that can afford the V-Bucks and the kids that can't still get to be involved either way.
Everyone gets to play, and also there's the experience of like as a parent, and you're buying, let's say, toys to a kid. Like you buy a toy for your son, right? And he plays it for a day, gets bored of it. But at least as a parent, you see that your kid's playing Fortnite for weeks on end, and he asks for V-Bucks, like say $25 worth of V-Bucks. You're like, he has been playing pretty consistently. Maybe I can just reward him. Be like,
I think
he's
you're
gonna
giving
keep
too
going.
much credit to parents because I don't. Yeah, it's while true. I think that's the mind of someone who plays games and understands their value. I think most parents will see a physical toy as a far better investment.
okay.
I think what you're saying is correct, and there'll be plenty of children that will be like, "I wish he was my dad."
Because cause let's say, right, for example, Lego. I still think Lego is the epitome of when parents buy Lego to their kids, there's still an aspect of at least the kid is doing something productive with it.
Yes.
Which is building it, right?
But I also, depending on your net worth of income, I feel like Lego is a kit that you build and then it's done, or is it just worth just buying like a bunch of those cheap little like plastic army men because it's the same level of like we're going to use them over and over again.
Did you guys have the big old tub of multicolored Lego as a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the big
Always.
old tub. Yeah, it was just
Good.
like that was my first. It was,
Lego
it was also hand me down.
never breaks.
The neighbors where we used to live, in the apartment block, just gave us like a bunch of old Lego because the I don't know daughter I think was done with it, and I just infinite imagination.
They just saw
with
you
tubs of
sitting at home.
colours.
You've talked about before your parents would just leave you at home all the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll keep this kid entertained.
But I didn't have a lot of toys as a kid, so they got a lot of wear, a lot of mileage. So
It's good.
and then
Better
was-
than playing
it was
computer
something-
games.
because
Yeah.
it's still because like I think nowadays, right? Nowadays toys are like so-so. I think toy sales have been going down for a very long time, and I think that the toy market is mostly dominated by like very specifics. So let's say boys. Boys these days, what? Lego and like Nerf guns. What else do they buy?
Computer games.
Yeah, most of
It's just games,
Yeah,
right?
Lucas for a very long time has been less in like, maybe 4, 5, 6 is still like physical toys like Star Wars stuff
Mm-hmm.
and Nerf guns and exactly what you're saying. But it's if from probably 6, 7 onwards, it was it was we're like a real adult men. What are we doing? What's going on here?
I was moving on. I was happy to move on.
I'm so used to getting caught by Lucas, like running across the room to like laugh at me. I'm like, brother, please. What I've noticed, I think, you know what I've noticed with this 6, 7 thing is that every time I want to stay somewhere near the middle. If I'm giving an example, I want to stay near the middle.
You just gotta
So-
say 6, 8 now.
yeah. So it's it's like
6 to 8 years old.
not reliable. What's the word? It feels relatable. It feels
Yes.
relatable. Like it's a relatable number. So you want to stick somewhere in the middle, but I'm trying to prove a point. So I want it to be just a little bit more than 50%. And where does that leave me? You know what I mean? Like if I'm trying to prove that something happens a bit more than it does
It can't be
regularly.
1 to 5.
Yeah.
It can't be like 8 to 10. So it's gotta be right in the middle.
Yeah, 5 to 6 is too close to the middle, so you go one above, and that leaves us in this number that I apparently say 15 fucking times a day to my
Yeah.
teenage child. Anyway, do you feel like with the Lego sets have been slightly ruined by the fact that they have all the IP? Because it used to be a thing with the multicolor bricks where it was all about the imagination and what you can build, and then you would break it apart and then build a new thing. It might be a city this day, or like I know you talked about before,
Yeah.
making guns out of them, and then like all this different stuff. But now because it's a set, it's more like a kit, like a Warhammer kit, where you build it and then you feel bad about breaking it apart.
Well, you still have the kits where you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, but is that the mentality you're going?
I think what happens is
It's cheaper though. You're paying it's price per brick on IP and price per brick on non-IP. So you get more bricks on the non-IP,
non-IP stuff,
and
yeah.
then the IP stuff. So if you are looking to just build a noir, you can get like a deal for $100 for more bricks compared to let's say a Marvel IP product where you get less, like maybe 50 bricks.
I guess there's probably less scalpers in the non-IPs.
I have to relate it back to how I treated it as a child, right? Like ultimately there will always be IP in Lego because like Lego succeeded off successful IPs, right? Lego became what it is because of Lego Star Wars.
The
and
Star
such.
Wars one, right? Yeah.
But you have to hope that as many kids are coming in because of the IP, there is a certain percentage of the kids also then stick around and then build stuff out of their imagination.
True.
'Cause that's what I had as a kid, right? So as a kid, I was like, all my friends have Lego Star Wars and all these cool things, right? And so I would get the Lego Star Wars, and when I was bored of it, break it down, and then also make anything I want out of it as well. So there are people who just build it, display it.
Can you start building a Star Trek ship?
And you have
at
to
least?
hope, yeah, exactly.
Leave
You have to
that.
hope that there are some kids out
A
there
multicolored
that
star
then take it
ship.
and go full imagination. Because like ultimately you can't force creativity and you can't force imagination, people. You just have to provide the steps and hope that there is enough out there that they will then take the opportunity.
Did you guys do all the other things like the Multex, where it's like the metal beams that you like?
Nah, I couldn't have
bolt
those.
together?
Apparently they got Giga cancelled because kids kept swallowing the balls.
That does make sense.
We went from a hard era
Fucking
of Lego competitors like those magnetic toys to gone.
Yeah,
overnight.
true. Do you, as a parent, William, were you ever deathly scared that your daughters would swallow 2 magnets and kill themselves?
No.
Because you had Lego as a kid, right?
Yeah.
When your daughters were young, were they like specifically you're not allowed to go into this room here because Lego bricks.
I feel like William has a couple of those rooms.
I put it outside. They know not to touch.
Yeah.
Like they're trained from young.
When I remember when Lucas was really young, there was a lot of like, you know, things on the news. It was all the time. It was like, oh, some kid swallowed two magnets, and now their esophagus is magneted
Yeah.
together inside their body. I remember for some reason, like, that oddly was ever present.
What's
what
that?
you should be fear
They,
of.
they put Bitrex, which is like a bitter coating on things specifically to prevent kids from swallowing it.
Does that allow it to like pass through the poop system?
No, it's more
easier?
like what happens is in young kids they'll bite into it. It tastes bitter, and the idea is the kid will spit it out. So your Nintendo Switch cartridges, because those cartridges are fairly small and usually around children, it's covered in Bitrex.
Oh,
Yeah,
Go home
designed
and
to be bitter. If you tasted a Nintendo Switch cartridge right now, you'd be like, yeah, it's bitter.
So if your coffee's not bitter enough, you
All
can
right.
just tap your
Go and
cartridge
try.
a bit.
No, why would I want to? Then I just swallow it and I die.
let's try it.
So
It's bitter. Ew.
You don't swallow the cartridge, but you swallow the whole console. You're like, ah, damn, why was the Bitrix not here?
the Lego make infinity money because realistically, the manufacturing of a Lego brick is what it's like Games Workshop.
Yeah, it's just
You know
plastic.
what I mean?
It's plastic.
Once you
They're
get the
literally
molds
just
going,
melted
it's all
plastic.
plastic.
It's IP. The IP for the brick.
Yeah. But now you have all the competitors. I don't know if you guys go to see
It's
this
so shit.
Oh,
They're probably terrible.
It's
But in the
very
in the
shit.
shopping centers, right? You go in and you see all the Lego competitors, and you'd be like, you can make a Lego M1 Abrams.
Yeah, it's always that weird little stall in the middle of the shopping center
Yeah.
selling like the off-brand stuff.
It's all like the Temu.
It's
like,
so
Do you reckon
shit.
are they shitter or are they just
No, it's
not the
shitter.
brand?
I've tested it.
if the theory is I'm just going to build it and
It's
display
like
it somewhere,
when you play with Lego like a lot, and you play with a competitor or like what is it called? Compatible Lego,
Oh, so
right?
they make them so you can actually connect them together.
And then when you put the two bricks together, you know it's shit.
Yeah.
You can feel it straight away.
it's like us and Warhammer. You go from Games Workshop plastic and you start touching, I don't know, let's say something else. You can definitely
right.
notice it.
Yeah.
So there's a certain level of quality you expect from the person who dominates the industry.
Yeah.
But if the purpose of it is to display somewhere, like someone who's going out who's buying a Lego, like a cheap Lego set as a tank or a gun and putting it on the shelves, you know what I mean?
yeah, when the building
cheap,
is
it's
so
cheaper.
shit. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not. It's not the displaying it. It looks the same.
If you had
The problem is the process going
so
there. is
Lego's made a
different.
lot of things. If you could have the ultimate, like this is the Lego set you want, like the one thing you want Lego to make, what would it be? Like this is like in your mind you've always imagined this is a really cool thing that Lego could build and you've always wanted to happen.
A cash positive business.
Jokes on you, start selling Lego.
I don't know. They build everything already. When I wanted like Transformers, they built Transformers already. They wanted Voltron, they got Voltron already.
Is that the testament to Lego has covered all the things you like?
Most of it, yeah.
I remember Mega Bricks did a bunch of Water Warcraft stuff, and I
Oh,
always
that's not too bad,
I
eh?
remember
yeah,
that,
they were
yeah.
fine. They were fine. I bought a few of them, but I wished it was in Lego so I could play with my other Lego.
I was
You know
like,
what I mean?
why didn't Lego take this license?
Yeah, 'cause-
why must Mega Bricks take it?
Yeah, because the Mega Bricks were fine, but they were the opposite of compatible. Like they were literally like they were made in a way they definitely couldn't
Offsides.
go together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always thought that was
and
pretty
and
cool.
it doesn't look the minifigures doesn't look good.
Yeah.
You know, if it was Lego minifigs, it
Yeah,
would be
like-
better.
People collect minifigs.
The weird square arms.
Oh, yeah, I know. Like, oh shit.
People do collect the minifigs though, specifically the characters.
Yes.
It's crazy how integrated all of our hobbies are now. Like,
We go from plastic to plastic.
yeah, it's like all the things that cross video games and then like pop vinyls and then plushies and then books and comics and like I think IP has come so far in such a long way that it's hard to want things now because somebody who's getting paid a lot of money has come up with the idea because they think they can sell it, right? So it's like when I think about like Halo, like the video game, there was literally I think they made Mega Bricks of those, fairly certain.
I believe so, yes.
And then there was comics, and then you got video games. Obviously, I can listen to the books on audio, or I can read the books. It's like there's anything that's even worth half a salt has all this extra IP, and then you have things that maybe aren't anywhere near as popular, but it's someone's niche, and someone's done a slightly worse version of those. It might not be up to scratch to what you want. Like I remember thinking about, I think we talked about it very slightly before. The audiobooks for a lot of the Halo stuff is for free on Spotify if you're paying for Spotify,
Yes.
right? But the person who reading it maybe isn't as affluent as some of the ones reading like the Warhammer books, so it's hard to stay into it. So it's like the thing you want probably exists. It's just, is it good enough for what you want?
I feel like Lego's done enough Lord of the Rings now. You could almost just make a Lord of the Rings battlefield.
Yeah,
Missing Minas Tirith.
It's coming out though.
Is it?
yeah. Did you not see?
They're making a Lego
gonna make
Minas Tirith.
And they've got the guys doing the architectural designs who've redone all the buildings in New
Oh
York.
my god.
It's
Yeah.
so big, you got to pay real estate when you buy it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like we've just come out of Christmas, right? Did you guys do Christmas for yourself? Not that like friends, family. Did you buy yourself a little sneaky Christmas present?
I kind of, right? Because I was saving up throughout this year to finally buy a new phone.
Yeah.
That was my like end of the year like.
Yeah, your phone has made me exceptionally jealous.
Yeah.
I'm only one phone behind you, but it feels like I'm a mile behind.
Yeah, but then the idea is that's all leapfrogging, right? So you get the next one now, and I become jealous of you.
Yeah, I just feel like
you just gotta wait for the next
that
one now.
new camera. It looks so much significantly better. He was taking for photos he took of us, and you could see all of the
Oh yeah, there's
the 33 years of skin damage that my forehead has.
So we're talking about the new iPhone 17, right? Like, there's one of the modes where you can just capture in 4K video, and it really captures.
Yeah, really, yeah.
It really makes everyone look horrible.
Apparently, Cambridge was able to become a dermatologist overnight
Yeah.
because you could really see in my shit.
You want that beautify function.
That's real popular, right? Everyone uses the filters now.
Just an automatic filter. Yeah.
What about yourself? Did you do Christmas with the family?
Oh yeah, my kids.
What'd you get them?
Like books.
Maths books.
Practical shit.
His kids are 2 kids. Every time I try to relate anything with my parenting to Will's parenting, I realize that he's a real adult and didn't mess his kids up.
You know, there's a fun game we can do on the podcast. You know, I was at the newsagents for the first time in 10 years the other day, and they're still selling those, like, this is your NAPLAN test for if your kid is in grade 4. You know those books? You know, you get them as a kid. Did you get those books as a kid? Where it was like your parents would get you this and be like, this is supposed to be maths questions or English questions for you if you're in year 5. I would be like, if I got a year 5's worth of maths book, if I got a year 5 maths book, and I ask you guys maths questions, could we do it? Are we able to do maths questions for grade 5 level?
Realistically, how long does a test take? We should all do just a regular hour-long test.
a NAPLAN
I can
test?
get one from my because my son's just done them. I assume your kids have just done at least one of them, the older one.
What year is
yeah.
he in?
Yeah,
One year
we could get them, do the test each, and see who gets the most
Wait,
scores.
what year are
We
you
have
in?
to trust we're not. Well, Lucas is in he's just done year 9.
Do you reckon you could do year 9 maths?
I think so.
William?
The thing
Year
is,
9
though,
maths is mostly algebra, right?
Yeah.
but also the way that they teach math is significantly different. So
What?
Jared, who comes here to the
Boards, right?
thing, he's a maths teacher, and like I've confirmed this with him. The way that they teach like long division and all this stuff is completely different to how we did as a child. You might be more up on it if you're doing your homework with your children, William, but it's
No, I don't do any homework.
Yeah, I think you'll be incredibly surprised how wildly different it is.
That actually makes a lot of sense because we actually had a bit. We were at the counter one time. It was me, Ellen, and a bunch of folks here, and we were talking about how we were taught division, and we were trying to explain long division because some of us were taught long division, some of us are not taught long division.
Yeah.
and then Jared does his division, and we were like, "What?"
Yeah, I was fine. I was good at math. I was good, and then I was looking at Lucas' homework, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's just see if we can still figure out
I'll
what
try.
3 times
Yeah.
3 is.
Yeah. Well, I bought myself for Christmas a Baradeur for the Lord of the Rings set.
The Baradeur sets. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna set it up. It's gonna
That was very nice.
in the new podcast place.
Do you have that one?
at the gym?
No, I don't. I stopped buying shit.
I actually went in to buy the Hobbit hole, which was a good $300 cheaper, but they'd sold out that day.
And the Hobbit hole is very cool.
It is very cool, and it was $400, still way too much money. And I didn't last year I really scaled back on 2025. I really scaled back on how many Magic cards I opened and kept for myself. I transitioned most things into the shop. I've got rid of some of my like medium to heavy priced cards of my own collection as well. Like I've really scaled back a lot, right? The realization that my time and ability to play the game is significantly less than it was. Not my want. I really want to play more, but the reality is set in a little bit at the moment where I can't. And I also basically bought, until the new year, I bought no Warhammer. Until I bought a set of like 1993, the dwarf Dogs of War.
Yeah.
I found a guy selling them for $150, which is pretty good. I
Not
had
bad.
full command and 12 Pirate Dwarves. And I've been looking for those for years. They're always on eBay for like $300-$400. And I said to the guy, I was like, "You okay with the price?" He's like, "No, I'm happy with it." And I was like, beautiful. So I managed to not buy Warhammer until the new year. So pretty much all last year I was Warhammer free, right?
Damn.
And then, so I was like, I'm going to commit to this. And then in the new podcast area, I'm going to set up a little camera in the corner, and I'm going to film the entire process of building it. And I'll then determine whether that's anybody gives a fuck about seeing that or not. But I'm going to film it either way.
What's the scale of the Baradeur? Do we know like the
It's
rough
like
height?
800 centimeters or something. It's like nearly a meter.
800 centimeters is 8 meters.
It's pretty.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 800 millimeters.
8 meter tall Baradeur.
Yeah, it's life size. I can defeat the.
I like to imagine
the race
that,
of man from it.
We go from like the build progress videos, and one day I walk back to Northern Boards to go to work, and I see you on top of a wizard tower, and you're like, ha!
Yeah, you start driving over the hill, and you can just see me there.
So you guys know I just moved recently, right?
Yes.
So I've taken an oath not to buy shit anymore because there's so much shit to
that's
move.
a losing battle.
Nope.
Because inside of you, William, there's still the fun-loving you that eventually will break free and be like, I want to buy
I have
something nice.
decided to channel all my funds into Rolexes. That is my.
You know,
my
I was
the
like,
most relatable.
I was like, William was going to become a responsible man. It's like a reverse midlife crisis.
It's just,
but no, it's just we're back. We're
it's
back.
just cashing all the money so much smaller.
Realistically, though,
so I can just carry it with one hand.
Okay.
Do you remember that guy from the cartoon book, and it has like that worm in the apple that we're driving around?
Yeah.
Dr. Scary's.
What? I thought you were talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
The worm in the apple?
Yeah.
Hungry Caterpillar?
Nah, it's like Dr. Scary's universe. It was a cartoon, and there was a monkey in a trench coat that had like 10 watches on each one of his arms.
Oh.
you know what I was
just cut to the chase. You just
that's what that is.
Yeah.
But we as a team, as an Eternal Magic Northern Boards team, moved William's house, hobby stuff specifically. We did most of the work himself, but we did help move the hobby, and it was like what I imagine the reality of when they first opened the pyramids up was.
Whoa!
It was 40 degrees. We were in his because we see your previous house, right? So it doesn't matter we talk about it now. William had converted his entire, what do you call it? Roof, yeah, like the roof section,
space, right?
Yeah, because in Australia we don't have like proper attics, right? So he created into an attic thing, and it was like 1 billion fucking degrees in there. I was sweating so much that when I was passing things down to William, I had to make sure that I was leaning slightly aside so I didn't sweat directly onto William's face. I felt really bad about that. And
you really were uncovering the lost Pharaoh's treasure.
And there was so much Warhammer product. It's actually wild.
That's crazy because I've been to William's place and I've been to like say your office space and like where you do I've never seen all the rooms, but I've seen a few rooms, and I've always thought to myself, oh, William has a bunch of stuff, but it's not too bad. It's a reasonable amount of stuff. I didn't realize there was way more.
I don't understand that before you had the attic space, where was it? Did you have a storage
Because
locker?
I've been to your place before you had the attic space.
It was on the floor, and then became the problem. Then we had the attic space.
I didn't see it because I've been into like.
No, the attic space was there a very long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you had things in the attic before you turned it into a room?
No. I had one attic.
Yeah.
That one's just storage, and then I built another attic.
Oh,
become a room.
So you'd already done one of those rooms prior, and it was just more congested with that small
I like
space.
to imagine it's a false room. It's behind a cupboard. You have to hit a button, it opens up, and you go inside a secret Williams cave.
I do really like those rooms because they have that ladder that comes down and goes, and then it's like it goes to that's how you come
So
from there.
no more shit, bro. No more shit.
Too much. But as someone who likes watches and is into the watch market, is getting into watches an investment for you?
I know. I could just carry one shit. That's all I care. All I care about is carrying one shit.
You're getting in at a good
This
time.
used to be 7,000 models.
You're getting in a good time though, because watches have dipped down in price recently.
I don't really care about the market conditions. All I care is I'm carrying one shit.
So we'll know that William's Eternal Magic is a good position when we go to his house in 5 years and he moves again, and his entire attic is just filled with watches.
Kind of getting there, right? Because a while back you were like, I bought myself a self-winder for all my automatic watches, and now like I can always have them ready to go. So,
Yes, maybe I need a more winding.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that winder is just shit.
Have you bought a watch yet?
Yeah,
I know you already have. Like, I know you already have a few couple nice watches, but I don't know if you have a Rolex yet.
Yeah, I bought a Rolex.
Jeez. Submariner.
I just want our listeners
Submariner.
to know that your support is appreciated, and at least 66% of this podcast is not living with Rolex.
Yeah. One day I'll get a Rolex. Maybe if I just go to Will's place and be like, hey, William, look that way real quick.
Just buy less shit. Okay, buy more shit. Sorry. It's good for the market.
Granted, the Rolex sub is like the more of like an entry level.
It's entry level.
It's the reason. It's like the everyday man sub. The Submariner was advertised for like.
I'm not buying a
policemen.
Daytona or shit.
Yeah, it was like advertised for like the policeman, or advertised for like the everyday businessman, or it's advertised for the person who goes diving.
When
and
they
swimming
came
by
out,
the
our
harness.
average policeman on a single wage could also buy a house and an investment
You're right.
company. So
You're right.
it's a different time.
So
I'm going to divert us back to the hobby stuff because that's I feel like we alienate less of our listeners with that. I had someone in the shop yesterday, and because what's happened was like a lot of the stuff that the Warhammer you bought over the time was because you did a lot of painting, right?
Yeah,
a lot of paint comps, and it's very clear that as someone with a real job and a dedication to the hobby, that you've bought certain kits to literally pull out.
One part.
Yeah, one single part, right? So we're doing the fun game of like checking all the sprues to make sure every part is there. But what we found yesterday was a Warhammer Space Marine Terminator box with the old branding on it.
Yeah.
And I was showing you. There was a young fella playing Warhammer over there. I think he was 20 years old. And that box was older than the man playing the Warhammer in our shop.
That happens frequently, right?
He was like, what is this logo?
Welcome to Warhammer. You should just frame that shit up.
I know. Oh, it's one of those things where it's still that a lot of those kits, the old, what are they called? The old, they're plastic, but the old, the original Space Marines. What do they call them now?
Oh fuck. Firstborn.
Yeah. So the firstborns are still younger. Like the kits are young enough that they're still on eBay for just regular prices, right? But there will come a time where if you wanted to sit on that forever, it will become a collectible piece because
wait till I bring you the the boxes where they took photos of the miniatures
and just put
on the board with fake trees, like model trees.
It was all the green in the background.
I'll bring that next time.
Yeah, the flock fluoro.
Yeah,
flock,
I'll bring
grass.
that next time. I have those.
Yeah,
that's a Y2K. Yeah. The green flock was a Y2K for sure.
I've got some of those in the display cabinets here because it is such a. Like it's literally like Space Marines, and they've built like little cardboard houses out of like Milo tins and stuff like that. And then it's just space guys having a battle, but also they're on perfect grass, like Barry down the street with the perfect
it's not
grass
even like
proud.
CGI like now. Like whatever you got now is like CGI, right? They do some special effects on it, or whatever.
Yeah, the photography for box. Like I don't know if you've for the people who are listening, if you ever pick up a modern day Warhammer kit and look at the actual effort they put into posing and setting up the box art, it's like they do backgrounds. It's like really detailed. A lot of terrain in the back and it's all colored and it's color corrected. It's designed to be maximum appeal.
Yeah.
And then you go back then and it's just put it on the green flock, take a photo, we're good to go. Ship it out.
The classic joke was always the Space Marines were always, Space Marines and a lot of the military guys, because they would just have like a power fist in one hand and a gun in the other hand. So it was like, it looked like the guy who's picking up a box safely. You know what I mean? Because he's got his back right and he's bending at the knees. That's how every
Terminators before they got updated were so squat.
Yeah. They were picking up boxes perfectly. And Mike Boy would be proud because the safety is on. His safety is on. But all the new stuff has dynamic posing and looks really great. So then they can put this cool art in the background and stuff. It's one of those things where imagine if they were the dynamic posing, but they were just on the flock, like it would definitely not hit the same way, right? So they can do these cool things with the smoke machines and
kind
stuff.
of what they're doing with the old world, kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
In the old world backgrounds, you have more like terrain, like actual old world terrain.
The old world, like the battalion boxes, feels very
because it's all posed
old
up
school
as a
boxes,
squad and take a photo kind of deal.
Yes.
Every time we pick up a pewter mini, I just have to come to the terms that this is probably older than me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. A lot of that stuff, like they were still printing them later, but the newer versions of the pewter models used lesser quality metal, and they're surviving less good than anything that was like before the 2000s for sure.
And then we also deal with magic cards. Happens all the time. We pick up like a card from 1994.
Yeah,
contend with the fact that this is older than me.
We're talking about someone was looking for like a decent set one Charizard, and I was talking about it with him because he was trying to find a good one. I was like, it's hard to find a good one because these things are 30 years old, my man. Yeah. He wanted me to basically procure him like a something that could get like an 8 to a 10, right? And a lot of the stuff that were coming through, I was getting had a lot of chips on the yellow border on the front, which is going to stop it getting that anyway, about probably a 4 or 5, right? And it's just like, I think you almost need to scale, if anything that's over like 20, 30 years, to be like, well, this is a 9 in a card that's 30 years old. Yeah. You know what I mean? But obviously that's not how it works. But the reality of you trying to find that 10 and it not cost thousands and thousands of dollars is pretty low, you know? And you've also got to remember that like 30 years ago, you had to rely on little Timmy to perfectly look after his card. Why would he do that? He probably would have put it in his pocket, you know.
Every second day we got a Pokemon guy come through telling me how, hey, I used to have Pokemon all back in the day, or I gave it to a cousin or threw it away, my mom got rid of it or something.
Yeah.
And it's because of those stories is why it's so hard to find pristine condition cards, right?
In Malaysia, did you have edition 1 cards
Yeah,
or
we
regular
do.
cards?
We do have edition 1.
Because in Australia,
first edition.
they pretty much didn't have edition 1 cards.
Oh.
So in like a lot of like in the news on Channel 7, it'll be like our regular like local news. Every couple of years, they'll run the story where they're like, "Are your Pokemon cards worth a lot of money?" And then we, as a hobby store, will see an influx of people come through with their Pokemon collections when they were kids. And Australia and New Zealand didn't receive any edition 1 cards locally. So whatever boxes there was, it was not. Let's say like you have Alpha, we received only the Beta, which didn't have any first editions except for the Machamp, the guy with the 4 arms.
I've been through
away
that.
as a promo as a box topper. So there's a lot of those, but that also means they're the least valuable one of all time.
I was at the launch for Pokemon.
Really?
So I just assumed that in Southeast Asia, closer to the anime stuff, maybe you guys did because it was only like if you have friends who are like British or American, like a lot, in WA, we've got a lot of British people. They got edition 1 boxes, so if they brought their cards with them, they're more likely to actually have something worthwhile.
I seen my friend who has 4 Charizard in his folder. I was like, ooh, so
So how much-
expensive.
how
It's
much,
like $30 each or something. Yeah.
How much Pokemon do you guys know? Because so I've always thought that the Charizard was like the big expensive card, but then I think Logan Paul now is going around with like the most expensive Pokemon card of all time, and it's some illustrator card.
Yeah, but that's like given to like WotC, the ones they give to employees.
Oh, like employee
It's those employee
So
cards.
super exclusive
Yeah.
card, and then
Right.
he has like all iced out in like a
So
it's graded, and he's in like a gold chain. all
Public
iced out.
market wise, first edition Charizard is the one just like us, the Black
because
Lotus.
it's somewhat attainable, whereas that
Yeah.
card that he's got is theoretically unattainable. Right?
Yeah,
It's more like it's closer with our Magic knowledge. It's more like the Post Malone One Ring
Special
situation.
cards, yeah.
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 Where it's like,
I would put it like the illustration, yes, like the One Ring, and the Charizard like the Black Lotus.
Yeah.
It's similar, yeah.
It's
It's
Charizard is
just
the equivalent.
similar. Black Lotus, Alpha, that's it. First edition Charizard, Black Lotus, Alpha, that's it.
because you and I, if theoretically, if we decided to make really poor financial choices, could save up enough money, and then there's somewhere within the next 6 months would be available to go buy a Charizard if you wanted to spend that money.
The average
You'd be able to
punter
find
could
one.
try and go for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Same as the Black Lotus, right?
it's almost impossible to go find another one of the illustrated cards. Like
Right.
he would have had someone, a procurement person, just like the sports cards people do, where you're paying a guy on retainer to find the thing you want, and then he'll get a bonus if they find it or whatever. Which is you could pay someone on retainer for a long time, never come up with shit essentially. So
Because I'm having this weird clash of worlds right now where I'm in, like, I watch a lot of like Watch and Diamond District content, just like dudes who are into.
Did you see that new Trax NC thing where he's
Trax
fighting?
NC?
Fighting the guy
Yeah.
at that place who
he
limits
was
his thing.
obviously he acts it up a little. He pumps it up a little bit for the cameras, but
Yeah.
legitimately he got fucked over a bit. He was pretty mad.
They were using his name, Brand. Did you have? I don't know
Yeah,
if you've
I've seen
this
it,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, he got, when someone's like reputation is paramount to a business like this, having a reputation marred is terrible. So you would get legitimately pissed.
So the thing we're talking about is a guy called Trax NYC, and he's really well known for making like really opulent things, but he's quite young. But he does the designs and his like all the like
So
I guess the
Trax
engineering
NYC is he does jewelry and watches in the Diamond District in New York City. And then sorry, keep going. Just for the context.
It's in the scheme of the people that do it, he's probably in his like late 30s, early 40s, I guess. Whereas the majority of the people are, I guess, stereotypically what you expect, like a lot of guys in their 50s, 60s, like it's family money that's been for generations. And it's all that look very mafia-esque looking kind of situation. But you got this young guy, he works a lot with rappers and like a lot of like really big gym guys. That's how I've seen him, how I've like come across him. And but he's like he's mastered social media. He's really good at it. He got really famous, like probably COVID time, I guess, because he was doing this thing where he was trying to convince people to take a gold bar from him instead.
Yes.
But people were so fearful.
He did a lot of viral social media.
Yeah, like he was giving out gold bars in the middle of New York City, but the New York City personality of just average bystanders is so
Jaded, right?
yeah, that they won't communicate with other people near them. So to them, it looked like he was just giving out flyers because they were not engaging in, even though he's saying like, here, do you want a genuine gold bar? But people are so
Used to scams.
yeah, not talking to each other or trying to avoid any confrontation whatsoever. They completely avoiding the fact that he was literally just giving them away. So you could have got like, I think it was like $1,000, $2,000 worth of gold in these like, because no, it's not full bars, like the little mini tab bars.
He'll do things like, hey, if you're able to guess the value of what I'm holding, I will give you something.
Yeah.
And he'll give you like a silver ounce or a gold ounce.
But he's really mastered that social media thing. Anyway, got in this whole situation where like someone was using his name and saying that they were producing jewelry under his name, which is quite like I don't know, well
Scandalous,
known now.
you know.
And it wasn't.
It
was
is
like
just
lower
fraud,
carried
right?
gold. Yeah, absolutely. But that was like it turned into. I like what was that movie? The Adam Sandler movie that Uncut Gems.
Trax NYC was on Uncut Gems.
Was he really?
He acted in Uncut Gems.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Well, he obviously took the acting lesson because he then went and screamed in this other guy's face. But the guy like spat on him, and it was like a whole brawl.
It was a whole
and
thing because
everything.
he got kicked out of the
damn.
office as well, and the video went viral.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is all good for him. Like once again, publicity is always good.
Yeah.
And Trax NYC are smart because the Diamond District and all that kind of like jewelry business was very much dominated by like classical business of like old fellas running shops. You come to me if you need anything, yada yada yada. And Trax NYC comes around and he kind of really helped pioneer that big viral social media marketing around Diamond District and the cult of personality that exists around it. And from Trax NYC, now you have all the fellas come out. And now like there's this huge media push around the Diamond District. And because I like to consume that content, it's starting to clash with my world now because as that cult of personality and around the Diamond District has grown, the hobby area has also started to crash into it as well. So you have like now they're also looking to get into collectible card games and other various collectibles.
Yeah.
So
We have there was for love him or hate him, one of the pools, I can't remember if it was Jake or the other one. They did an interview and it was like kind of like it was like a news interview, but it was aimed at children to a degree. Like it was they interview like influencers and they talk about and like all above board. Like they talk about how they got famous and the hard work that it takes. And I think because you talk about now a lot of children, they used to want to be like astronauts or whatever. Now they want to be streamers. Like this is the thing that most kids want to do. So there's the whole purpose of the show was to interview like stars that children look up to and be like it takes hard work and dedication, education, do your schooling, all this kind of stuff, like fingers to point in the right direction. But he did say on there that he's got an investment advisor and they tell him how he should be spending his money and how they should be doing it properly and trying to explain to kids how that all works, right? But he did say my Pokemon investments have made better than almost any of my other investments. So he's like,
Pokemon's grown in price faster than Wall Street has ever had, right?
Yeah, and he's saying the property market is obviously very important because it's safe and you still own the thing. But he said he said, I legitimately would be remiss to not tell children that they should be investing in Pokemon, and that can be taken in two very different ways. You know
I
what
mean, the idea is always very simple.
Yeah.
Do not put all your eggs into one basket.
Yeah,
just diversify. You have your Pokemon portfolio, you have your real estate portfolio, your whatever portfolio. Everything will hedge each other. One falls, the other one covers it, right?
So are you spending all of your money on a hobby show was not like a noodle situation?
That's why you diversified to burgers.
I mean, like, diversify a little bit. Like, you can't have everything onto Pokemon.
Yeah.
And
The problem
right?
is a big giant asterisk and nuance. And what happens is the kid listens to, oh, I should just buy Pokemon. When realistically, it's more like you should put your money into buying Pokemon sealed boxes, and then if you can and you know the people to, you can sell them down the line and make money out of it.
Like as a 9-year-old, can you extrapolate what he said and turn it into something viable?
And the 9-year-old just be like, oh, buy Pokemon booster packs, and maybe I can gamble and get lucky and pull a Charizard. Not how it works. It's more like you buy this box, you have no fun with it, you put it in a closet, and you wait a year and then sell it.
Yeah, I've probably made a bit of a nightmare for Kang because when the kids come in and they want to sell their Pokemon cards, I always do them a deal. I'll spend 10, 15 minutes going through there, usually not a lot of anything, and I'll pay them like $10, $20 for like a stack of cards, right? And it's really just to keep, to me, it's just like a little give back to like a community situation where you're just giving, some young kids have come in and they're excited about what they want to do and they can turn it into some like candy money, right? And it's like, I think it's the back in the day of the same as like you go to the corner store and the lady would give you like 20 cents worth of milk duds. And it was like I don't know, we used to have that in Queens. We'd go down the beachfront and then, your nan would give you $1 each and you get a bag of lollies. It's like but the money's different now, so like I'll give away $20, $30 worth of things to these kids. The other day we had a guy and his kids are going through a thing and I'm going through and I'm looking through and I'm like pricing it and whatever. There's none of it's really worth anything at all. And after like 10 minutes, the dad's like, oh, still going, eh? And I was like, fuck you, man. I'm just pretending to do deals with your children. let's not rush me, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Calm down.
They're all friendly enough, but you know what I mean? It's like I'm babysitting here for 15 minutes for you. Maybe just chill out. On Eternal, you're not touching Pokemon at all, right?
Nope.
Is it just too much?
I just the market is a little bit different.
Yeah. We've talked about before. It's like, you get the difference between a Magic buyer and a Pokemon buyer is that they are, or a lot of people are looking to trade on, so they're looking to grade the card or make a dollar on top of it. Where traditionally a lot of people buying like Fab, One Piece, Magic the Gathering, they're mostly players.
Correct.
Now, even in the time, we've had a bit of a gap over the last few weeks where you've been moving house. Christmas is pretty hectic here, so we've not hit week podcast, right? In the time frame since we last spoke, One Piece has been invaded by the Pokemon players.
Yes.
Which for us here at the shop is good because we held a bit of stock that wasn't really moving too quickly. It was always going to go, so no problems. But it flew out the door the minute this happened, right?
Within a week.
How much of a nightmare has it been for you, the transition wise? Is it a lot or not a lot? Like, are the new One Piece buyers being a nuisance?
I just ignore. I never answer. I just don't have time to answer them.
You briefly spoke about like when somebody has a request, because the difference for the listeners is the Pokemon card players will want to see the front of the card, the back of the card. They want to see what the grading is, whereas like a traditional player would just buy the card, throw it in sleeve, and play
I've always
the deck.
described it as there are Pokemon collectors, and then there are card game
Oh,
collectors.
I have a solution for that. In my website, there's something called a special request that you can purchase.
Yeah.
You buy it.
But so what are you charging? $2 for a photo?
$2 for each card for each request.
Is that worth it? Is it even?
Yeah, I'm okay. If you're paying me, I'll do it.
Yeah, but is $2 enough for you to go find the card, take the photo,
No, the
send
card
it?
is I know where is it. I just don't have time to take
Because
it.
we talked about this. Because
I'll pay. You pay me for each request $2.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's. I
Like,
don't know if that's enough money.
Okay. Back and front.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one request. I was like, can you take corner? That's one request.
Or like if they come back with another email. Yeah.
You do it like 4 corners. It's like
And if you're buying a $1,000 card, what's the extra, like, say, $1,000?
Yes, I totally get it. For the collector, if you're going to go to an auction and buy like a crazy sports card or whatever it is, I get it. You want to do a full inspection. But when you're talking about a $30, $40 card, but I guess $30, $40 cards can also
it depends.
graded into $1,000.
If it's like a $500 card, I'll do it. Like I know your concerns, but if you're asking for like a $30 card, just like below 100, you're asking like 8 photos. I'm just not gonna do it.
It's why I describe there are Pokemon collectors and there are TCG collectors. And it's like a whole separate market, right? The TCG collectors out there the TCG guy is just buying cards because he needs them to build his deck and he wants to, pad out, like, say, a specific collection or he's building cards. like in One Piece was completely price point wise was completely dominated by this is a good card, a playable card. Same in Magic. Prices in Magic are dominated by this card is good. Decks want it. Price goes up. And Pokemon, it's just entirely people like this.
Yeah, how
thing,
cute is this animal?
and then it goes up price. So what happened was recently is that a lot of because right now Pokemon ebbs and flows in price and market, right? Like everything in the market is always, people like to talk about, hey, we shouldn't treat card games as an investment. It's not the card game itself trying to be an investment. It's just the nature of the way the market works.
If we were fucking all
it's all
collecting knuckle
natural.
bones and people want to know the knuckle bones,
these things happen naturally. You can't control the market. These things are inevitable forces of how the personality and humans work. Anyway, so Pokemon is now on a little bit of a decline, right? Right now, like, because their stock level is really high again. The Pokemon's on a bit of a decline. A lot of the Pokemon collectors are like, maybe we should try something else. They realize that in One Piece has really chase cards and really recognizable characters, kind of like Pokemon.
Yeah.
So the Pokemon collectors are like, let's give One Piece a go, and that's kind of snowballed into a thing of now they're all going in and buying a bunch of One Piece and really trying to hold on to One Piece. So it's almost like release One Piece again, where stock levels are low, crazy hype, and the price levels for the chase cards have doubled, sometimes even tripled in price.
We've sold out of the 2 sets that have just come out the first
Day
week.
one.
We're done. Yeah.
We're out.
So you always get that influx of customers that aren't our regulars coming in and basically calling ahead of the store, be like, do you have anything? And so a lot of like, we're sorry, but we don't. And if you can find it, you should snag it up.
On the Saturday, so the day after release, right? So Friday for us was our pre-release. We could start selling sealed products. Saturday, just yesterday, right? Saturday, I had so many phone calls of people asking. Like, I legitimately was picking up the phone call, just saying hi, and immediately expecting someone to ask about OP14, the new release.
crazy.
The
Crazy.
One Piece has been a resounding success for Bandai, right? Because Bandai traditionally has an effect where the card will last like 5 to 7, 8 years, I guess, and it will then peter out and be replaced by another one. Like Dragon Ball Z is a prime example of that. If the Pokemon players are like these collectors, I guess like these TCG collectors have to move from Pokemon to One Piece. Is there a third game that they can go to? Because I don't know if Magic is their thing.
They did went to Magic. So they went to Magic on Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And then the second time they went into Spider-Man and they died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is when they let go of Spider-Man, which is good because what I wanted was because of Final Fantasy, right? There's no point opening the boxes. That just sell the boxes is better than selling the singles.
Yeah. The
And then
value was so
Spider-Man
high.
killed them. So now back to Avatar, it's better to sell as singles again.
Interesting.
That is where the original market should be.
Sure.
Not sealed.
I guess there was a moment in time there where it was easy for you just to sell boxes than it is to sort 1,000.
I mean, yeah, it is nicer, less work, and make more money. But going back to singles is what it should be.
Yeah, I guess because it's also the lion's share of what your business is. We've been talking about this because we've been like slowly setting up our thing as well. And you look at like MTG Mate and Card Kingdom and some of our competitors, the stock levels are wildly low. Like almost impossible to find anything you're looking for on these websites, which traditionally have had pretty good stock levels.
That's what I'm saying. Like with these investors going out from Magic, you bring back all the singles where it helps with like the people who wants to play the game.
Yeah.
Because it's not,
Magic's really hard to track unless you play the game. If you
so
don't know Magic, it's really hard.
So
for
Magic
someone
now
to
is
invest
back
in.
to normal. To me, it's back to
How
normal.
where it should be.
Yeah, where it should be.
And I think it's a big thing for the game as well because I'm sure while the people that sell Magic like Wizard of the Coast don't have any real line share in what the end game value at a store like yours is, they do want you to have that product in stock because anybody, if it becomes too hard to find product at all to build their decks, a population of those people will naturally move over to proxies. And while we're not specifically anti-proxy, the hobby is anti-proxy in tournaments and all that kind of stuff, but also if everybody moves over to proxying stuff, there is no value in the collectible that's
No,
left.
okay. Let's just talk about proxy a little bit because I had a very good conversation with a friend who had recently like talked to me about proxying his deck. Like, I want to sell away all my decks and I want to proxy them. The same. I told him one thing: when you start proxying, or if you or your group start proxying, it will become a CADH group.
Yes.
And then you
yeah.
number one,
Okay.
you will lose the fun. You will lose second the ability to deck build.
Yeah.
Everyone just floodgates into
Because you
whatever's
just
optimal.
want to put all the best all the best cards into your deck, right? That's number one. I'm okay with proxying, but if you do that, you will lose that. I told him like, why don't you don't want to buy cards, make do with what you have.
Yes.
You know, this is one thing that I think someone who is in the podcast before, Matt is very good at that. He make do with what he has.
Yes, correct,
And
yeah.
he makes superb, very, very interesting, very, very nice to play with decks.
Yeah.
That is what Magic is all about. Once you start proxying,
That's
the whole game just went down.
It's
down
the point
the
of
hill.
having a
race to the finish
collection,
line.
right? I can't remember. It's the classic quote of like it's limitations that breed creativity.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know, so we have to have like these limitations of what you have in your collection will make you think harder of how to build the decks,
Yes.
what decks you want to build.
It's like,
proxying does take some of that away.
You would just destroy the whole fun of it. Then you realize after a while, like, hey, Magic's not fun anymore. Yeah, because you are the one who caused it.
Your decks just become whatever EDH.
Yeah,
deck
it just
you
becomes
build.
CEDH. And like, I win on turn one. Yay.
It is like obviously we see it in the shop, and again, there's no dig at the people doing it because if financially viable, that's what you need to do. There's no problem with you being smart about how you spend your money. But when you sit there at a table and three people have a guy's cradle, you're like, okay,
All right.
You know what
Yeah, I
I
mean, it just takes the fun out of it. Like, there's no, how would I say, what's it called? There's no work done. Like, there's no, you just get whatever you get
especially
done,
in the age of internet and technology where you can just Google search the best deck and then print that out, Officeworks, and be on the way.
And then what's interesting is that is very much a Magic the Gathering thing. Because there are so many resources in Magic the Gathering to specifically look up this is what you should put in your deck.
And there's no goal too. Like, imagine like your deck, you need this one card, which is like $50.
Yeah.
And you can't set a goal to get that card. Like, okay, I'll pay this deck 4 weeks, and then in that 4 weeks, you realize you may not need that card at all.
Yeah.
Or you may need something else that's cheaper. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you play a deck so much, you're like, oh man, I wish I had that particular card right now to fix this issue.
Yeah.
So, as you play, you know your issues with the deck, and then you start building it,
You do
buying
see that
it. You
when
know?
people's goal is to bling the deck out rather than function the deck, and you do get like someone like, oh, I finally bought this thing because it's like $100 or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and it's like in the end you're like, oh, this would have been, if this was just a basic land, this would have been far more helpful right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a goal towards your deck. Right? Like I have a dragon deck that I still haven't finished. It's already built, like it's perfect, but I'm like replacing it with foils and stuff. So you have a goal that you want to finish, but it's not the best deck out there, but it's just a goal. At least you got something to do. If you're just gonna proxy it, you're just gonna go full.
You're at the finish line.
Finish line, and then it's like no fun.
There's no satisfaction of
There's no
slowly
satisfaction
building
at
to the
all.
point of
Yeah, you can
completion.
get the deck, you get to play it, but there's no direction.
There's no journey.
Yeah, there's no
The
journey.
finale.
That's right. The journey is not there.
Matt's a perfect example, and
Yes,
we
definitely.
have a same kind of situation where I try not to use the same cards across the line. So like, because it's one of the things, you can put a great henge in pretty much every deck, but do you want to put it in every single one? Because then you start, we've talked about before, it's like the Soul Ring and Arcane Signet goes into pretty much every deck now, right?
Command Tower.
If you proxy, it's like for the first 10, 15, 20 cards are automatic includes, and then where's the space for imagination after that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I told him that, and then like, he's like, oh, that's true. I'll probably dismantle some of them and then try to like right. He's like, you got the word jumble, right? Like, that what's it called, that game?
Wordle?
Yeah, whatever. Like you have
banana
you have
grapes?
X amount of letters.
Oh, Wordle.
Yeah,
Wordle.
you have X amount of letters and try to make it into a word. So it's similar
Oh,
to
no, Scrabble.
Scrabble.
similar to Magic. You have X amount of words.
Yeah.
Try to make it into another deck. Then.
Yeah, cards.
Yeah, just don't
You know
have
what's-
to keep that.
Wordle's like pretty popular right now. I don't know. I know several of my friends who log into Wordle every day, just do the quick little thing, right? I had someone talk to me and saying, oh yeah, like with Wordle, these first two words are the most optimal words you could use because they give you the most whatever. And it was describing me like the Wordle meta.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could not care less. Like the whole point of Wordle is that I'm just gonna jam out a random fucking word and just hope for the best and think about it. I don't need someone telling me the min max. I don't need the EDH rec of Wordle.
Do you know? I think the New York Times something has a word of the day or word of the week, whatever it is, and they do the thing. And then somebody quite a few years ago, someone found that the guy just had a book from the 40s, and he was just copying their word of the day,
nice.
and he did it for years. And it's like,
Why not, right?
Yeah, because he's like, people aren't gonna know any different. You know what I mean?
I finally reached that point in my age where like I look at a crossword now, I'm like, ooh.
Kang's on the Sudokus.
It's like,
Nah, I'm real bad at numbers. Once it becomes like numbers, I'm like, my brain clocks out.
damn.
So, words I can do.
Well,
Crazy.
People used to talk about like Sudokus and word crosses and those things for older people who are like, try to stave dementia off, right? By keeping your brain active. Are the card games that we're playing, I guess there's two questions here. You got video games, you got card games. Are they both functionally able to do the same thing? Are we going to stay?
Card games, yes.
We're going to
No, only based on depends on what you play. If you're playing competitive card games, you have to logically think out your actions.
No,
it's
no,
like
no.
chess, right?
In
Commander, it is very in Commander, you can also just be playing by patterns and playing by playing by just whatever.
It's
you
habit
get.
rather than
habit.
cognitive
You
thought.
actually don't really engage.
No,
in cognitive thought.
really. Sometimes the triggers will trigger your thinking.
I still don't think it will stave off Alzheimer's or dementia. Like, there's not enough there's not enough brain juices moving in that point,
Really?
which
I
doesn't.
believe it does. Like
'Cause,
what
like,
you play first,
So
second.
say video games, right? Video games, you could just
Optimal
be,
playing, you know?
It's like say video games, right? There's video games like Farmville. That doesn't engage
Nah,
your
all-
brain, right? The
video
same
games
way
is
that
all about, I feel it's like a reflex.
the dopamine
Not necessarily.
trigger.
No, not much.
I know a lot of old people. Not old people. I know a lot of people like middle-aged plus dudes who just play like strategy games. All they play is strategy games, right? And they have to make decisions and stuff. That probably engages you more than saying playing Cookie Clicker.
Oh, of course.
You know what I
True.
mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess there's a variation.
And that's the same
there.
thing as with card games. If you're playing,
But Commander, for example, there's a lot of conversation going on.
yes, but that's not necessarily
The
engaging
social plus you gotta add
Think
in
of this way.
everything,
Think of this
right?
way. One is problem solving, and the one is not. In Commander, you can play by numbers, and in competitive card gaming, it's more like chess, where like you have to. There's a puzzle directly in front of you, and you have to solve the puzzle. You know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I do think that I guess there's two different play styles there because I feel like there are players who will be constantly looking at it as a problem-solving situation. But I do see what you're saying. If you just have like a big green stumpy deck, and no matter what your opponents do, you just do the same thing.
That
anyway,
is only
then
apply if you have like one deck. But if you are playing like different deck every time, it's not gonna be very.
And regardless, I do believe that any sort of these things will still, like, if for older people, probably still better. Like getting an older people, getting them doing any sort of like critical thinking involved will just help keep their brain going.
That's a shout out to you, Marky Mark, if you're listening.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Same as Warhammer, right? Like if in Warhammer you have to make decisions constantly, like point-to-point decisions. That is also probably good for you as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess again, it's more of like a 3D
Focus
chess situation
painting, you
where
know?
You got to make a decision about where it's going to go and how that's going to affect you. So.
I was talking about that. I was like, I'm gonna start painting again when I was 50. I'm like, oh damn, that's not far away. I'm gonna push it on 60 now.
The problem with the whole painting when you're old as well is that, you know, the hands get a little bit shakier and
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You got contrast then.
It's true. You got to adapt how you paint.
Have you kept like a selection of stuff from, you know,
Just my brush.
just your brush?
Yeah.
So
Just your one lucky brush.
No, like you're not real any models or anything you've kept aside.
I still have models like back in Malaysia.
Going through your Warhammer, was there anything that you found that you maybe like not forgot, but like didn't bother logging away for now that you were like, oh damn,
I just don't care anymore. You have to have. It's either you care or you don't care. Because if you care one, like, oh man, I want this dude. Oh man, I want this dude. And then it becomes like, here you go, one box for you.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta get rid of everything or nothing.
Mm-hmm. I hear.
Yeah,
It's like Buddhism right there. You gotta get rid of want.
Get rid of everything. It's done.
I know we're like close to wrapping up here, but have you seen the stuff that's coming out with the Buddhists in Nepal at the moment, where they're all on meth and they're all using like a certain level of like sex workers and stuff like that.
What happened?
Yeah. They're like,
isn't that something that's not Buddhism? What?
There's a huge like inquiry happening in Nepal in the temples because
Nepal.
Yeah, isn't that where they are?
Oh, where is it?
Tibet.
Sorry,
No, they're in Nepal. Wait, no.
Nepal and Tibet is way too different.
Anyway, so the place where the Buddhists come
wherever
from.
they are, right?
Anyway, around there.
They got tested, and the majority of them were on methamphetamines. The majority. And there was one single sex worker that they'd all been using and she spread like I guess they all spread it between themselves, some STDs. And they're all like struggling with like meth addiction and STD.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I'm gonna read that news.
It's more than like 60-70% of them.
Damn.
It's actually wild.
I want to find the origin source. Who was that first guy who convinced everyone to do meth?
Yeah, I know. And I guess it's because they don't eat or do anything or talk, so they just start there
I guess they're just hell bored and they just do meth.
just meth out of their fucking mind.
Display magic.
It's like the opioid thing again.
But isn't it such a where is Nepal to Tibet then? Am I so completely
At some
confused?
point, someone had to be like, guys, I don't think this is what Buddhism wanted.
I'm Googling it.
I thought it's like no attachment, right? Giving up no attachment.
Yeah,
to anything.
Buddhism is a little different.
Nepal and Tibet are on the border of each other. Are the monks in Tibet or in
I'm
Nepal?
pretty sure they're in both.
Tibet is the
Tibet has got a lot.
monks,
Tibet's the Dalai Lama and stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about
Is Tibet in China?
No,
debatable.
no, it's a country itself. I think so. Yeah.
That's depends on who you ask. Kind of question now.
Well, I thought maybe the Tibet had China and the Nepal bit was the part they were fighting over.
You know what? You know what? The crazy part is, I'm not geographically sound enough to not even know where they are right now. I know they're somewhere between like South Asia and China.
Anyways,
on the border.
Well, you have like because if they Nepal borders India.
Yes.
Oh.
And then Tibet borders Nepal, which also borders.
I believe Tibet is geographically in China.
Yeah, that's right. But so is it part of China? It's part of
Google
China.
that.
Geographically, yes, and it's owned by
need
the
to go to
China
pee.
state.
Yeah.
But it also wants. believe Tibet wants to be a free nation.
Because in like
Free Nation. What the hell?
because in
You know what I
Nepal
mean?
they do that thing where the Chinese nationalists and the Indian nationalists fight each other with sticks all the time.
Yeah.
They'll meet up and
Because they can't
they'll
actually
battle.
use guns or whatever, because then it becomes real war.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, the Dalai Lama was controversial in his day because the Dalai Lama, the whole point of Buddhism is supposed to be like you don't need so much want, and you can let go.
Yeah.
And, then you can come with more inner peace. But the Dalai Lama was walking around with flexing like $100,000 watches and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You look at the pictures of the Dalai Lama, that boy had fucking baller Rolexes.
Yeah, he also had like a fleet of 40 Rolls Royces.
The hell?
Yeah, they were like all custom. He had them all custom made. Some of them were like fluoro with like purple.
But he has to be like,
interiors
guys,
and
I
stuff."
didn't want this.
Yeah.
Guys, do you understand, Bosom? I didn't want this. I'm shedding my need. I didn't need this.
If people give it to me, that's not my fault.
But here, controversial take. That's just how I feel about almost every religious leader. Like if you look at the evangelical leaders in America,
let's piss off everyone.
you know what I mean? Like you look at the evangelical leaders in America. There's that one guy who's like, guys, you don't understand? I need my private jet.
Yeah.
Because I can't be flying around with regular people.
Yeah, some of the mega churches.
And I'm like, dude, what are you talking? What is going on?
Anyway, it's super excited to be back at the podcast with
Welcome
you.
to 2026.
Play some Magic, buy some Magic cards, and Login is coming up.
This is the 2026, the year where I let go of one.
This is a conclusion of our hot takes: is the guys who own card stores think you should buy cards in a proxy, and if you're in a religion, good luck, buddy.
Stop buying crazy watches if you own a religion.
Damn.
All right, love yourself.
Bye.